honoring me with your gift of time. I really appreciate it, and I'm really excited to share my health journey and my story that I've experienced the past couple months. So, to start, many of you know that are close to me, and maybe all of you don't know all the intense details. But I have been struggling with my health for quite a few years. Um, I'd say that I've been struggling with this since I was a kid, probably, but didn't realize it. When I started having babies, when about 10 years ago, it seemed like some of the symptoms that I was seeing with my body increased. I have always had a lot of allergies, environmental allergies, and it started moving to food allergies, like lots of them, intolerances and allergies, just being very reactive, and had rashes on my hands, couldn't even touch certain foods. My immune system was responding that hard to so many things. I had just itchiness in my nose, in my eyes, in my throat. I'd have to take my contacts out all the time. I couldn't even touch banana without and touch my eye. My eyes would swell shut. It was really starting to get out of control. And with that, there was also, I had stomach pains. And it seemed like every time I would have another child, and not blaming it on that, but the body is so great. It just lends itself to grow these sweet babies, and it gives to the baby first. But I would just end up with more and more allergies after each pregnancy. And the tummy pain continued. I did a bunch of tests. I did lots of stuff. I did colonoscopy, endoscopy. I did some natural doctoring. They said I had leaky gut. I tried to do different things and nothing was working. I had gallbladder attacks. I ended up with a burst cyst one time, ovarian cyst. It was awful, and it started some GERD. So digestion was just just going totally wacky. And I couldn't find a lot of answers. They just kind of said that I was fine. Because in general, I was fairly healthy, but my food list got smaller and smaller. And it was almost just embarrassing. You can't eat out anywhere. You can't go anywhere. You'd go to eat with family and they'd be like, you can't have that anymore. You can't have that. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on, right? So I intuitively felt I had done some cleansing, some parasite cleansing specifically, and I didn't see a lot happen. And so I was kind of at wit's end, and I was like, gosh, what am I going to do here? I was just so inflamed and gaining weight, even though I was trying to lose weight. And I was like, I really need to do something. Something is really not right. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to try this parasite cleanse again. My dad was kind of pushing it. And so I started a cleanse with the leftover stuff that I had myself. And in the meantime, I had a good friend speak up to me, and she was fighting for health things for herself. And she's like, I've been working with a regenerative health practitioner. Maybe you want to try this. And so I prayed about it, and it seemed all right. And so I signed up, and I had my appointment in the middle of that cleanse. And I was instructed to keep going with the parasite cleanse. And she recommended to me Purium superfood products. And so I got them, and the things that I got were a shake with superfoods and gut healers in it. It was the only one that I could have because I'm just allergic to so many things, especially like fruits and vegetables. I was having oral allergy response to all these things. So I added that. I added their aminos. I added, swapped out actually their parasite cleanse for the ones that I was doing. And then I added the cherry juice at night. And what I saw after that was I kept cleansing. Talk about parasites. It's humbling. It's kind of yucky, but it is real. So we'll just kind of break down the whatever about that. Parasites are real. I saw them, and I continued to detox from those parasites. And when that lifted away, while I was supporting myself with the superfoods and healing my gut at the same time, great things happened. I lost 17 pounds, which I'm pretty sure it was just pounds of inflammation. My face looks totally different than it did at Christmas time. I don't even like to look at pictures of myself from Christmas. I was like looking for like makeup to like cover up redness because my face was just so getting puffy and inflamed. And in about 3 weeks, my tummy aches went away. And the best parts are I started eating the foods that I was getting so itchy. I'd get woke up in the night with itchiness, and I was able to welcome bananas. I hadn't had a banana for like 3 years, and now I can eat like 2 bananas a day. A watermelon, garlic, and like it just keeps coming. And like I'm a little bit hesitant to try some of the deeper allergies, and I'll get there, but I'm excited. Other positives is I'm not seeing any. I had avoided citrus fruit because of the acid reflux. I'm not seeing that. I'm eating all those things. I have way more energy, and like some anxiety has faded. Anxiety's always been in and out parts of my story of motherhood. And gosh, you're just trying to do as best you can and be a good mom. And I've seen, well, I mean, look at me. Here I am. I had goals for myself, and I'm starting a business while maintaining homeschool and doing it all with good boundaries and more level head. Like I'm doing more, but yet I'm more level. And so I attribute that to the superfood nutrition that I've been taking. So that's what I've been seeing. And I don't know if anyone noticed on my invite, there was a drawing of pears. I've been doing art lessons with my son, Anthony. And that's kind of the dream, is to like heal my body far enough that I could have some of those deep allergies like apples, pears, and carrots. So I'm on the path, and I'm really excited. And what I feel deep down is I think there's been some untruths told to us and promoted about food in our culture. And even parasites. How come we don't talk about parasites? My kids got really into watching Critter Fixers for the past couple months. We count that as science in homeschool. And the first thing that they would do for all the sick animals is an animal would come in sick and they wouldn't know, and they would check them for parasites. I mean, so I'm like sitting there doing my detox, like watching this, and I'm like relating with the chickens and the goats, they're detoxing their parasites to get better, so humbling, yes, but I just want to kind of spread the message that maybe we don't have to keep walking with some of these mysterious health things, and that there are alternatives that we can try. So I'm going to pass it over to Camille, my friend and mentor that's been walking with me through getting going with selling and promoting the Purium products. She has been very gracious and kind in helping me with many of the things that I am growing in, like technology. I have avoided technology pretty much all my life, and I have learned like 30 different things about my phone in the past 2 weeks. Anthony Suda would be so proud of me and my brothers and all the people that know about technology. So I invite her on just to give us a look at Purium as a company and some of the things that they have going.
Well, thanks, Ashley. It's really an honor to be here. I've never heard your story in full, so thank you for sharing that. I know that can be vulnerable, but I think that it's so important to share our story because it is a piece of our healing journey as well. And I think that it's really relatable to a lot of people in one way or another. So just thank you for that tonight. And thank you for bringing all of these beautiful people here tonight. It's really an honor to be here to share this information with you all. So a little bit about my story. I had been watching a friend on social media. She had been reaching out to me periodically. A good friend that I've known since she was a little girl, in fact. And I had taken a long break from social media. And during that time period, I found myself in my own health crisis where I was in severe chronic pain that onset during my third pregnancy. And I found myself self-medicating with ibuprofen for quite a few years. And it wasn't until I said yes to bringing in these organic superfoods into my own life did I really find relief. Within 2 days, I was out of chronic pain. Also found much relief from postpartum depletion. as well as chronic adrenal fatigue and just overall lackluster for life, if you want to say that. So I was really leaning in to Purium as a company. Like, why did this happen? Why is this makes such an impact in my health? And as you can hear from Ashley's story, how it's made an impact for her health as well. And as I've been building my business here with Purium, I've just had more and more opportunities to learn about our company as a whole and what Purium really means. So the word Purium stands for pure and premium. It's basically a made up word. And our company has been around for close to 30 years. The founders of our company, Dave Sandoval and Amy Venner, actually started and led the USDA organic certification labeling process. Dave is a very innovative person. He has a lot of foresight about the environment and about the food system. And he foresaw a food crisis happening in our country that related to our health. And so he just has made it this mission to really bring forth the power of green living foods. And the way that he actually met his business partner, Amy Venner, was at a health expo. He confronted her in this, what we call now a care friendtation, because she had cystic acne. And he said, I have something, I noticed you have acne. I think I have something that could help you. And it was our first product. It was called the Kamut blend, which is an ancient wheatgrass blend. And it changed her life. And she partnered with Dave to really bring this mission forward, to educate people about green living foods, educate people about soil health, and real global issues, one of them being glyphosate. You may or may not have heard of glyphosate, but if you've been watching the news or you've been tuned into the radio whatsoever, you've heard of Roundup, and you've heard of the $10 billion lawsuits that have been passed on to the manufacturers of Roundup. So glyphosate is linked to all modern disease. It was introduced into our environment in the early 80s. It's a byproduct of World War II that was used to strip heavy machinery from the corrosion. And what they saw was when those chemicals would slosh out onto the ground, it killed all the weeds. Well, they thought, well, we can monetize on this and make a farming chemical. So our farming industry really took a big turn post World War II during this green revolution time. And then glyphosate came into the picture. And glyphosate has destroyed the topsoils of our country, and it's used around the world. In fact, a lot of countries have banned it because of the horrible side effects that it has caused on not only the environment, but on human health. And being that Dave has always had foresight into our food industry and really has a heart for people, he's always like developing products and innovating things that can really help to support human life. And so, what we're working with here is food. I'm going to show you some products here tonight. But the difference in organic superfoods that are grown with the Purium standards is we are growing our organic superfoods in the healthiest soils. There's only 1% of soils on the planet that are actually beyond organic and, really considered clean, healthy soil. Most of it is contaminated and destroyed by, fast farming practices. And so, we're very passionate about working with small farmers that adopt these type of growing standards that we put on our superfoods. So I'm just going to show you a few things here. I don't have my Power Shake in a pouch, but I'm going to show you some of the shakes. So we've got like the Epigenius family here. This is a very popular one. But and then here's another one, the Power Shake. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a beautiful green powder. And what makes this so different, like I said, is the soils that they're grown in. And so these are grown in at our main farm in Utah, and the topsoil is almost 100 feet deep. And it's an ancient lava bed. It's ancient lava flow and dried up lake bed. And so if you think about it, that topsoil being 100 feet deep, it's black, it's nutrient dense. And all of that is going into the plants. We are missing that in our regular produce that we're getting from the grocery store, from our restaurants, and even from our farmers down the road, because everybody is using glyphosate. It's a water soluble toxin. So not only does it, just pass through the waterways, but it's in the rainwater too. So it's pretty hard to avoid. But the reason why our farms are different is they're removed from 200 miles or more from this industrial influence. And I've brought up the word glyphosate a lot. Glyphosate is produced by Bayer Monsanto, who is, a huge pharmaceutical agricultural company. There's no way to fight against them, but we do have a solution to get it out of the body. And that solution was developed about 3 years ago. It's called Biome Medic. And what it does is it actually removes 74% of glyphosate from the body, and it repairs and restores the human gut microbiome. And that's why glyphosate is so hard on the body, because it destroys the gut, just like it destroys the soil. It's like one exposure to glyphosate will cause leaky gut in 20 minutes. So it's a real problem in human health, but we have a solution to get it out of the body, which has been a game changer for me. I always thought that stomach aches were normal. I thought that bloating was normal. And when I started using this particular product, I found that my bloating went right down. In fact, I came down about 3 dress sizes. And this was another implemental part of my own healing journey, is because not only does it remove glyphosate, but it lowers C-reactive protein, which is the marker for inflammation in the body, by 75%. So these items come in what's in a kit. And that's where most people get started with what's called the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation. It's kind of a gateway for people that want to get healthier. They don't know how, they don't have the resources, they don't have the tools, they don't have the coaches, the health coaches, they don't have access to this type of nutrition. And so that's what Ashley is doing here today, is to just share the opportunity to get this nutrition into your body if it feels like something you might be interested in. So I want to just go over a couple other products that are in our main kit. The store has many things that you can choose from, but protein is obviously a huge topic. Everybody's wondering, well, how do you get your protein? We have an amazing protein solution here. And just to get a little bit scientific on you guys, I'm also a regenerative health practitioner. So I love to talk about body science and how food works and the chemistry of the body. So what we need from protein is actually simple amino acids. Our body does make some amino acids, but we need 8 essential amino acids that can only be found in food. And we're missing that in a lot of our food because of glyphosate. The glyphosate also blocks the uptake mechanism in plants to get the proper amino acids, so that, when we eat it or when an animal eats it, we can actually receive that. So these amino acids are the 8 essential amino acids. And what makes these so special is that your body actually uses almost 100% of this. When we are taking in secondhand protein, say like a burger or a slice of cheese, or even like a vegan protein shake or something, our body will only use 11 to 36% of that, and the rest of it has to be digested. These do not have to be digested. They are directly absorbed into your muscles. And so they actually help to build lean muscle and burn fat. It's an awesome athletic performance product too. And it helps to tonify and tighten the skin. And it's also excellent for the nervous system health. These were actually created by an Italian doctor who is working with patients in comatose. So he brought this forth so that he could support his patients from that level of deterioration or muscle atrophy from happening. So these are amazing. So this is the protein source. And then Ashley did mention parasite cleansing quite a bit. So we have a very gentle yet effective herbal parasite cleanse that comes in this kit. It's a 10-day portion of your first 60 days, or it's 2 10-day portions in your first 60 days of starting this lifestyle. And then for sleep support, we have a beautiful tart cherry juice concentrate. And this is grown in virgin soils in Italy. It's cold pressed, organic tart cherry juice concentrate. And I love this because it gets your body into deep, restful sleep, and it helps your body's own melatonin production, which is really important because we hear that melatonin all the time, like, well, we need melatonin. Well, we need melatonin. Actually, what we need is our body to be able to make melatonin. If we take it, our body won't make it. And so this helps to support the body to make its own melatonin production. So this is kind of, just an overview of some of the products. I find that it's valuable to bring those in to when we're, talking about Purium and sharing the value of what Ashley has found and what I have found and so many other people have found to really thrive and support their health. And one thing that I do want to just add is this helps the body's chemistry. So this helps the body get into its a very healthy alkaline form of chemistry. The standard American diet is very acid forming, and that's very degenerating, very destructive. It brings forth dis-ease. It causes the cells to glom together and steals oxygen. So this all supports the body to get really oxygenated, to really get alkalinized. And when the body is in the right state of right state of chemistry, the body can repair itself. We are very wonderfully made, as we know, but we need to have the right environment. So I'm going to pass it back to you, Ashley. Just tell a little bit more about your own business story, and then we'll wrap it up.
Thank you, Camille. Okay, so my business story goes a little bit like this. We've always just been a one income family because we discerned that we were supposed to homeschool our kids. So that's where we've been at. And we've made it work. And God's always provided for us. We have very generous parents that help us out on all sides. And I am really grateful for that. But I was able to do, well, I mean, to be honest, we were living like we live paycheck to paycheck. That's humbling to say too, but that is how we have kind of governed our lives, especially since we moved out to a house in Horace that was a little bit more, our mortgage was more. And so there was stress there. And what I learned, I did a program called Woman's School with January Donovan, and they just guide you through learning and discovering about yourself and how to be a whole person. And it became very apparent to me that my thoughts and my mindsets on wealth and finances weren't that great. I had developed, I think, from this living paycheck to paycheck, some thoughts of scarcity had really crept into our story that was causing stress. So within that, there was like a little tiny dream in Women's School, because I worked hard to like redo some of my mindsets and take out some of the limiting beliefs that I had. And January would always talk about, yeah, like maybe you could just make $1,000 extra a month. And I'm like, how do people do that? Like, I'm a homeschool mom. Like, I don't know. And I kind of like played with it, and I tried some things. I tried using my art degree, and nothing seemed to like fully fit to pay off with the time that I had. And there was also demands of my kids needing just different therapies and things. They have dyslexia, ADHD. My oldest was diagnosed with celiac. So we've always been having to buy all this gluten-free food and, kind of the higher end things, dairy-free. There's lots of intolerances in our family. And then the other different therapies they needed. And so it seemed like there was always just like not quite enough. And even with this little dream, I couldn't quite picture how can I do this? So insert in this great results that I started having on my healing journey. And I was like, oh man, like my kids need this too. Like, how can I do this? Okay. And so my friend was like, well, why don't you start selling with me? And I'm like, oh boy. Okay. So I wrestled with that for a while, and I felt like God was leaning in and kind of speaking, I'm wrapping, like, I don't like, it's a 2-for-1 deal, Ash, like, look at this. And I just kept thinking, could God be so generous that he could wrap together these dreams of health and healing for me and my family, and a way to pay for it. And so I just stuck with that, and I was like, it seems too good to be true, but I went with it, and I said yes. And there have been some things that I have had to learn, and I'm grateful for the women's school class I took that really trained me to have a more of a growth mindset, which I think is allowing me to have the courage to even be here and talk, and to try and learn Facebook and mess up lots of times and still know that I am worthy and I am good. And that actually telling people my story and some of the hardships or things that I have like really, really struggled with is more important than looking cool, or I don't know what else, but just kind of overcoming some of those things. So overall, we had also, as our family, been over the past, I couldn't find any answers with health. So I really put a lot of effort into mental and emotional and spiritual healing in our family. And it has really, really paid off, and really helped our family and given me just even skills to be a better mom. And we finally came up with, we have been trying for like years to come up with a mission statement that we like say on a regular basis in our family and stick to it. And there are a few things. Let's see if I can say it. It's like a jingle, because when you have kids with dyslexia, you just need things that like are memorized easy and not read. We are the Morgan fam. We try as best we can to love, to pray, to thank the Lord, and kindly lend a hand. Right? Okay, so that's our little jingle, and in it, it has our different values that we are really trying to promote, and we've really jumped on board with this year, and it's bringing great fruits. And so that first part, we are the Morgan fam, we try, that idea of trying. I had been a person that was kind of stuck with like perfectionistic thoughts and like it's never okay to fail. And boy, we are breaking down those walls and seeing the value of being brave enough to try, and then following it with the persistence and consistency. And we maybe always had the persistence and consistency because I've been searching forever for healing answers, but the idea that it's okay to fail. And I think that Purium as a company really shares that value in, well, first of all, they do network marketing. So there's people like me who know nothing about technology, and all of a sudden they're like, oh no, well, you can do this. It's okay if you fail. Just promote your story of healing so that other people can benefit. And then persistence and consistency of coming up with just the best products for people for the most amount of healing. And then an attitude of gratitude is something we've been promoting in our family. And the reason why I was doing it was when you have an attitude of gratitude, you're able to stay in a brain space that is positive. And you're always looking for the good instead of focusing on the bad. And we have been fighting that a lot in our family this year. And I have been absolutely blown away by the amount of positivity that I have seen in this company and experienced on my team. And there's really a spirit of collaboration and encouragement and cheering people on. And I'm going to quote Critter Fixers again. I put this on one of my lives, but Critter Fixers is like a reality TV show of like two veterinarians that like take care of all these animals and like try and save all these animals. And they're great and really enthusiastic. But they say teamwork makes the dream work. And my kids told me this because they remember all the things and they're watching all the things. And I was like, gosh, that's so good. So we've been like cheering that on at our house. And boy, I've like really, really seen it in this company. And it's an exciting direction to take. And mostly I just have a deep desire to pass on to everyone else that there's like hope and healing possible for everyone. My son, Matthias, has been saying this prayer that was kind of driving me nuts. So I'd say, what do you want to pray for Matthias tonight? And for about 3 months now, he says the same thing. He says, for everybody in the whole world. And I'm always like, oh, good grief. That is such a big prayer. Like, does that even work? And as I was driving today, listening to music, I was just like, No, I have that prayer too. I like want hope and healing for everybody in the whole world. Like I'm with Matthias. So that's going real big, but that's, and I feel blessed where I'm at and to do this and excited to see where it takes me.
Oh, that's so beautiful, Ashley. I love that story. And, your son is so smart. And what a big heart. And, that's kind of like the perfect liaison to just talk a little bit more about who Purium is as a company. So our mission statement actually is to end human suffering. That's a pretty big mission statement. But not only that, within that is there's this umbrella of a few other things that we really encompass as a company that also are very much in alignment with my own personal core values. And that is environmental stewardship, community, health sovereignty, and also financial sovereignty. So our company is actually 99% plastic free. We've created the first non-GMO home compostable packaging system, and we're supplying that to other health and wellness companies as well. And our company alone has saved over two tons of plastic in the past year, which is huge. So this environmental stewardship piece, we have a very efficient food delivery model system. We have removed every single fossil fuel creating vehicle. Rebecca says 200,000 tons. Okay, thank you for that correction. But basically with our food delivery system, it goes from the farm, which is our farm, and we're working closely with those farmers. We pick everything at the peak of ripeness, and then we wind dehydrate it with solar power, and then it preserves all of the delicate enzymes within the food. Then that is put on one truck. It's delivered to our manufacturing facility in California, and then it's shipped directly to your door. So we're cutting out all of this extra fossil fuel influence. So that's our environmental stewardship that we're really proud of. And that's something I've always been very passionate about myself. The health front, you've heard us talk a lot about that tonight, but really to end human suffering in people's bodies and to create easy solutions to make that possible. The wealth front, let's be honest, like Ashley and myself, coming from a place of just living paycheck to paycheck. And I was seriously praying for a solution to help support our family as well. And this has really been an answer because I've been empowered to share my story and share my voice. And that is what has helped me to build a business that has actually allowed me to retire from the restaurant industry and to replace my corporate salary there as a server. I was working for a celebrity chef here in Chicago, and it wasn't sustainable to be a mother and to raise another baby. I just knew that wasn't the answer for me. So Purium has been an answer for me to really tap into my gifts and my talents, but also to allow me to do the things that I love to do. I love to travel. I love going to the beach. I'm originally from Colorado. I have family all over the country. So traveling is huge to me. I can take my business with me wherever I go. So I love that. I love that it's really something great for mamas. It's great for, other busy entrepreneurs or people that already have a career. The wealthiest people in the world have 9 streams of income, and it's really smart to have a secondary or a third stream of income that you can do on your own time, weaving it around your busy life. So that financial piece is really something that Purium is proud of as well. They're a very generous company. And then the last piece is that side of community and partnership and collaboration. We have that here. I started during COVID, and I was so overjoyed to find this community because there's so much support and training and friendship. And, these friends becoming family. I would have never had the opportunity to meet Ashley. And she's just a real sister to me. Like we're developing a real bond. So it's really been a blessing to just be partnered. And it's completely changed my life. And it has allowed me to fulfill a lifelong dream of being a practitioner. And I was able to fund that and finance my education with my Purium income. And now I have been able to start a practice and bring in a very hefty secondary stream of income into my family that is completely in alignment with my core values, everything about it. So I just feel really honored and blessed to have the opportunity to share my story with you tonight. And I know you all are here because you really love Ashley, and she invited you because she cares about you and she loves you tonight. But what I want you to do now is I want you to do something to support Ashley. So I want you to pick up your phone and I want you to shoot her a text, and it can be one of these 4 words, or it can be all these words, whatever you think. So one is, I am cheering you on. You go, girl. I see you. I'm cheering you on. Number 2 is, maybe you're curious about the products and you're interested in feeling better. Maybe you have a health concern, or maybe you just want to feel better in your body, or you want easy, convenient nutrition that is supporting a really amazing company. So you could text her the word products. The third thing that you can text Ashley is the word business. If you're curious about what it means to collaborate with us and fulfill this mission of ending human suffering and helping to bring, vitality and life into your community and people, you can text her the word business. If none of this resonates with you at all, but you have somebody that you're thinking of right now, like, boy, I remember last week my neighbor was telling me that they wanted to do a cleanse, or I remember, my friend at church, she said she was looking for another job, or her husband just lost her job, somebody is coming to mind to you right now. You could refer them to Ashley. So you can text that word referral. And that's how we can support Ashley today. And we just want to thank you for being here. We know that time is our most valuable resource. So really appreciate your time tonight. And just thanks again. We'll open it up for questions here in a moment if anybody has any questions, but I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. Ashley, I'm sorry. Should have said, pass it back to you if you want to say goodnight.
Oh, it's all good. Thank you so much for your time, everyone. It really, really means a lot. Thank you. Anybody has any questions?